Today I'm going to show you how to take a 3D design from SketchUp and turn it into CNC ready 2D vectors in one step. By the end of this video, you'll have learned a new skill that will help you complete projects faster and with fewer mistakes. Let's dive in. I recently did a custom built-in closet for my daughter's bedroom. For this build, I started the same way I start most projects, with a full SketchUp design. Once the design was finalized, I needed to turn that 3D model into accurately sized vectors so I could create toolpaths and cut everything on the CNC. In the past, that meant manually redrawing every single closet part inside my CAD software. It worked, but it was slow, repetitive, and honestly a huge waste of time. Recently, VCarve added a feature that lets you transfer your 3D parts directly into the software in one step. That's exactly what I used on this project, and it made the whole process faster, easier, and way more efficient. To show you exactly how it works, let me walk you through the process I used on my recent closet build. So first thing I'm going to do is open up my SketchUp file, and this is the design I created for the closet I built for my daughter. It's already all created. What I want to tell you is to make this work, you need to save each individual part as a component. I don't know why the CAD software doesn't recognize groups, but for some reason it doesn't. So make sure you save each individual piece as a component. And then you want to save it and make sure it's saved as a .skp file, which it should automatically be saved that way in SketchUp. So then you can open up your CAD software, and I use VCarve. And I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to be using full sheets of plywood for this, so I'm going to make 48 inches the width and 96 the height, and the thickness is 0.75. Then what I want to do is go to File, Import Vectors/Bitmap, find my 3D file, and then this box is going to open up. At first, there's a lot going on in this box, but we're going to break it down step by step. It's actually not that complicated. First, it's asking you for the layout of your imported data, and you have two choices, either the exploded flat layout or this 3-view option. I'm not sure exactly what that's for, to be honest with you. I've never used it. 99% of the time you're going to be using the exploded flat layout option. So select that, and then it asks you about part orientation. So you can either auto orient, which is going to orient it by the largest face, or you can orient it by material. If you have multiple types of materials, this drop-down box will have them listed, and you can choose that option. I only use one kind of material, so I'm going to do auto orient, and it's going to orient each piece by the largest face. Then it's going to ask you if you want a gap between parts. I just put 0.35 inches so they're easier to select. And then it's going to ask you about creating circles and arcs. So in your 3D software, I don't know if this is the case in all 3D software, but in SketchUp anyway, it creates circles as a series of straight lines and not an actual circle. You can see all these individual lines here. So what this is doing is it's taking those lines and importing it as an actual circle, and the same thing applies to arcs. So you want to make sure you have both of these selected. This last section here, component group handling. So if you have this checked, it's going to import your parts as groups. I don't want to do that because I'm just going to have to ungroup them later on, so I'll leave that unchecked. The second box, don't worry about. In this third box, you're only going to check if you don't have dados, rabbets, or edge features. I usually do, so I don't want to check this box, because if you do, it'll mess up how you import, and you won't have your dados and rabbits and edge features in there, so leave that unchecked. Data to import all visible data in file is what I'm going to do in this particular case. If you were importing visible data on selected layers, you would select that option if in your SketchUp model you created multiple layers. Let's say you put all your back pieces on one layer and all your shelving pieces on one layer. You could import it to those separate layers. I didn't do that, so I'm just importing it all the visible data in one file. When you're all set with that, hit OK, and it's going to import everything. So this single step that I just did, clicking that one button, saves me hours and hours on creating these models, because what I used to have to do is create my design in my 3D software, and then I'd open up in my CAD software and I'd have to transfer each individual piece, and it was a huge pain in the butt, and this is a big project that would have taken me 4 or 5 hours to do. So this is awesome. It's not perfect though. You do have to go back and fix some things. So I want to go over that. First, let's get all our pieces nested and set up on sheets. So what I mean by that is I'm going to have all my parts selected. I'm going to select the nesting option. The tool diameter I'm using is 0.25 inches. I'm leaving 0.5 inches of clearance in addition to the tool diameter, so there's a decent amount of space between each part. I do that because I'm using tabs for my parts to keep them from flying up when they're cut, and I want to make sure there's enough material to support the tabs. I'm also leaving a 0.5 inch border gap. That's going to leave a 0.5 inch edge around my entire sheet so that I don't have my end mill digging into my spoil board. Then I can hit preview and OK, and it's going to put all those parts on sheets, and it's going to do so in a way that minimizes loss of material. I don't know why it didn't put parts on sheet 1, so we can just delete that for now. And what I'm left with is 6 sheets with parts on it. So we're going to go to this sheet, and I'm going to show you what I mean by having to clean up some of your pieces. So on this piece, you'll notice the circle. If you zoom in, there's all kinds of lines going on here. We don't want all that. It's confusing. All we need is one vector for the entire circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that vector. We have one vector. We're going to delete everything else. All we have is one vector. We're good to go there. We would need to do the same thing up here and here. The other thing we need is we're cutting dados. We're going to use pocket toolpaths for those, and then we're going to cut the outside hole, the outside piece, to free the piece from the material, so we need a vector for the entire outside of the piece. So you'll notice there's kind of these boxes, and we don't need those boxes, and that's not how we want it set up to create our toolpaths. So first, for this outside hole, I need to make sure there's a vector representing the entire outside of the piece. Okay, so I have a vector representing the entire outside of the piece. I'm good to go there. Next, I need to make sure that I have a vector for each individual dado that I'm cutting. And you can see there's a vector for this dado. When I get to here, there's no vector for any of these dados. So what I need to do is go in and manually create that vector, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to use the line tool and just go in and manually create that vector. So now you can see I have a vector created for that dado, and it ends up being one just very big dado. So that piece is all set. So now what I can do is, now that I have the vectors created that I want, I can go in and create my toolpaths. Of course, when I'm cutting this entire project, I have to go in for each individual piece and make sure that each piece is good to go, and set up the way I need it to be to create those toolpaths. For the most part, the pieces are. It's only when you have these extra large, complicated pieces that you have to go in and manually fix some stuff. But it's still way faster than manually taking everything from your 3D design and importing it into your CAD software. So now to create your toolpaths, we're going to first create the outside hole profile. So we have that selected here, and we're going to go to the profile toolpath. My cut depth is going to be 0.75 inches because my material is 0.75 inches thick. I'm using a 1/4 inch end mill. It's going to take 3 passes on the outside of the material, and I'm going to add tabs. Usually like to do 4 tabs for these pieces. And then before I create my toolpath, I'm going to name it outside hole sheet 5, 0.25 inch. That represents the end mill I'm using, and tool 1 because in my CAM software it designates numbers for the tools, and I like to remember what tool I'm using. So that's tool 1, create that toolpath, and that's all set. Now I can go back and create the toolpaths for the dados. What I'll do is I'll select the dado, hit my pocket toolpath, then select my other dados and my circles. So I have all the dados and circles selected, and my cut depth is going to be 0.25 inches. Again, I'm using a 1/4 inch end mill, and I'm going to name this Pocket Toolpaths Sheet 5 0.250 Tool 1. If I go to preview my cuts, you'll see it's cut out all of the dados, and it's got a cutout of the entire outside of the piece, and it's got the rabbet as well. So that's all set, it's all correct. Now I would add the toolpaths for my other two pieces. Then I can go and set up my first sheet for cutting. And what I like to do is I save the G-code for this one sheet, start the CNC, get it cutting that particular sheet, and then I go in while it's cutting and work on the other sheets and other tool paths so I can have those good to go when that first sheet is done. And it's as simple as that. Now it's just time to get cutting. I repeated this process to cut the parts for my drawers as well. Using this method saved me literally hours on this project, and because I was eliminating steps, I had fewer mistakes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to check out the video that covers the full build for this closet from start to finish.